nice.
Dub Bears.
Pigskin holiday. Check it out. Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pigskin Holiday NFL Week number 5. I'm here with Carl, no except Blank Look Terry, and Mario, lights out, wearing a Patriots jersey, Spina.
Yeah, I'm not very happy about it either. And I got this J-O in my ear every 5 seconds.
Anyone who's been on YouTube lately knows the story behind that. We posted the bragging rights bet, and we posted the payoff just a while ago.
And Carl won the damn bragging rights.
Oh, it is good night.
It was a good game, though.
It was a good
blowout.
game.
You know, so I could, for a while, I wasn't sure.
Right.
In the first half, the Patriots look human again. Anyway, speaking of YouTube, we are currently 382 upload views at this point.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Several other channel views. Thank you very much for tuning in to Pigskin Holiday on YouTube. And don't forget that there's also some stuff of ours that's longer than 15 minutes over on the Hazardous TV page.
Correct.
Of course, at the end of all the Pigskin Holiday videos, you find the Hazardous TV logo anyway. Just go find it. It's on YouTube.
You can do it.
There's also a lot of stuff on Facebook that has not been in either place.
That is correct.
Our first show is sitting almost entirely over on the Facebook page. Or just go to the Hazardous TV page and you'll find the videos for Pigskin Holiday on the Hazardous TV page on Facebook. Alright, now for all that promo stuff out of the way, how about we talk about some Pittsburgh, Tennessee. Now here's the interesting thing about that. The Ravens smashed Pittsburgh.
Right.
Tennessee beat the Ravens, and then now Pittsburgh and Tennessee faced, and what would the outcome be in that one, you wonder?
Pitt whooped that anus. Serious. I mean,
He said that.
yeah. I mean, first of all, I hate the guy, but Ben Roethlisberger, and I didn't actually call him by the name that we
wrote down.
That I wrote down. But Ben Roethlisberger, 228 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, 5 touchdowns is outstanding, especially since you have such. I mean, 228 yards by no means is like minimal yardage. Like that's a good day.
Yeah.
But for a quarterback to have 5 touchdowns with 230 yards passing, I mean that's extremely accurate.
Oh,
and
yeah. Especially right whenever it counts.
Right. Exactly.
I'm kind of spoiled, CT. I want 300 plus yards from my quarterback.
Well, yeah, you would want that, but
But if you have a good enough rushing game to complement that 250 with another 100,
well,
now you're talking a little bit better. But
on top, on top of Roethlisberger's 230 that he had, Dwyer, who I've not really even, to be honest, I've never really even heard of that guy that much. Coming out of college or in college or anything like that.
I just heard of him.
Yeah, I mean he comes up with 11 carries, 107 yards. He averaged 9.7 yards per carry. I mean that is just insane when you're basically getting a first down every time you run.
yeah.
That's excellent. I mean, that's what you want as a coach. That's what you want.
Oh, yeah.
If you can move the chains that way, so
That would make
efficiently,
you so happy, so happy.
And as as dismal as Tennessee has been in the past, like they're actually kind of known for it. Like you can't really run on them as well, and like for them to for somebody like that to just kind of come out of nowhere and get that $1.7, like that's pretty good. That's awesome.
So CT, what are your thoughts on the Pittsburgh Tennessee game?
Well, I thought it was going to be a Pittsburgh game. I figured they was going to win it for sure, but I didn't think it was going to be anything like it was as far as the score blowout. Tennessee's kind of been on a roll here recently. They've been pulling off some victories where none of the three of us thought they would.
Right.
And they've been doing pretty good. And, I figured they'd put up a pretty good fight. Their defense has been holding up pretty strong, but they just got smoked. I didn't really see that coming.
Well, last week we looked at the absence of Kenny Britt and thought it might affect them, and they rolled anyway.
Yeah.
And we didn't take them seriously at the beginning of the season, and now we're learning that otherwise, and then comes yesterday. Otherwise, Cam Newton and Drew Brees, those two teams met, the Saints and the Panthers, in Carolina, I do believe. Wasn't it in Carolina?
I think so.
Yes, it was.
Cam Newton's been having a really good season. He came out of Auburn as very highly touted, but at the same time heavily criticized. But then again, so is Tim Tebow, right?
Right.
The Panthers have not seen this kind of quarterback in forever.
Yeah.
They never have.
Yeah.
And so their record indicates they are 1-4, but they're playing better football than 1-4.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So Cam Newton had 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not a bad day.
No. That's a pretty good day for just about anybody other than him. That's a slow day for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily even say so much that they've been playing better football. Him and Steve Smith have been playing better football.
Yeah.
Those two guys are playing some playground football, aren't they?
They really are. They really are. And Steve, I mean, it almost seems like to me like, and we were talking earlier before the show that Steve Smith last year, you know, he was just kind of in and out. I mean, you know, didn't really have that great of a year. Now all of a sudden, I mean, he has a solid quarterback behind him, somebody that he obviously is confident can get the ball to him, and somebody who's obviously is confident in him enough to be able to get the ball to him and know that he can do things with, you know, do some pretty special things with the ball once he gets it.
And if you watch the game yesterday, or at least the highlights on NFL.com, you can't help but miss the one where Steve Smith, 5'9",
Yep. Representing all the 5'9s in the world.
Hell yeah.
jumped up, made a great grab, and ran the ball to the end zone. Then there's a big old skirmish started by Sharper on the Saints side. But he'll go up and get a ball. Those two guys are doing very well. Cam Newton was 16 for 31 with 1 pick, but he threw the ball to 7 different wide receivers, which that's good.
That is good.
CT, what I like about Cam Newton is when you watch him play football, he doesn't just go through, he's not a Mark Bolger by no means.
No.
I will always criticize Mark Bolger for that situation.
Well,
too quiet, wasn't a leader, and blah, blah, blah. Cam Newton's a leader.
Absolutely.
He takes charge out there. He also shows emotion as far as excitement when things go well.
Yeah.
He's pumped up about it. And when things not going as well as he would like, so to speak, he still stays pretty calm under poise. Did I say calm under poise?
Right. So he's saying he's pressureless. Under pressure.
I'm saying he looks good in pink, like I said last week. Speaking of pink, we can thank Shauna for the pink light we have. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but we have a pink light here for Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which the NFL has been doing, as you've seen on the games, with the pink gloves, wristbands, shoes,
towels,
whatnot. A very good cause and always well received.
Yes.
So anyway, Newton, Saints, Drew Brees, 32 of 45, 359 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. To his favorite target, Graham, who had 129 yards receiving.
I mean, first off, before I go anywhere else with this, with Steve Smith, case in point that we made earlier in the year, as far as a great wide receiver, or even a good wide receiver, can't do his thing without somebody that can get the ball to him.
Right.
And now he has that, so he's shining.
Or you look at, off the subject completely, and I didn't even mean to cut you off at all, but like you look at the same type of situation in St. Louis with you have a quarterback who doesn't have receivers to be able to get the ball to, so they they go hand in hand.
I'll take you one better. Up in Arizona, called to Fitz.
Right.
Fitz does the same thing Steve Smith does, but right now that's not working.
Right.
That also makes Arizona one-dimensional.
Very true.
For Carolina, Williams had 115 yards and a touchdown. But for New Orleans, the problem I see, even though they won, but they barely won, this is part of why they barely won, between Sproles and Ingram, they only had 83 yards rushing.
Right.
That still has not started to click. We discussed this back in our preseason episode, and then in episode 1, or week 1, episode 1 and week 1, which is 2 different things, but about the fact that it'd probably take a while to get that Saints running game going.
Right.
And that seems to be the case. In the meantime, it's on Drew Brees' shoulders. He's doing fine with it.
He's doing just fine.
He's doing great. He is lighting it up.
And you're talking about his favorite target being Graham so far, which is true so far. I mean, he's pretty much picked Graham out of everybody. But doesn't it seem like, you go back 2 years, his favorite target was Colston. Colston was new. Colston was kind of, nobody really knew the way that he played in the NFL. People picked up on that. The next year, his next target was Herman Moore. Went to Herman Moore all the time. He was new. Nobody really knew, the style of play that he had. Once again, it's like he always finds those guys that are just like, all right, nobody's really picked up on this guy yet, so I'm just going to light it up with him,
Drew Brees is one of those, I'm going to say, a cerebral quarterback.
Yeah.
Very much
He
so.
thinks about what's going to work. I mean, he's not like some quarterbacks have just a thing with the guy. They want to throw the guy all the time. And I think Vic's kind of that way. Not down at him, but saying, he's like you know, you got Deshaun Jackson. I don't blame you for. I'm gonna throw this guy all the time.
Right.
You know,
right.
but and then and Avant yesterday, who had some balls that would have been caught that were taken from his hands from the Buffalo defense, which is another story. But I think Drew Brees attacks the game in a cerebral manner. He studies the film. He does the work in the film room during the week, and it shows on the field.
Right.
But I also want to mention that Drew Brees threw the ball to 9 different wide receivers. But there's someone else yesterday who threw the ball to, I believe, 12 different wide receivers, which actually some running backs would not be considered wide receiver, but they're still catching the ball. So you get
12 different receivers.
12 different people caught balls from Mr. Aaron Rodgers yesterday. Dun, 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 dun. That's Jen she's doing the Packers thing back there.
Indeed.
Jen is doing well with the Packers, but the Bucs yesterday didn't do her any well, so she's a little bit upset about that.
Well, you know, stick with the Packers. They're proven.
Little prop for Jen there.
Absolutely.
Our very gorgeous camera woman.
Let's just toss this out here. He was 26 for 39, 396 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, as you just said, 12 different receivers. And he hit everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who got put on the field got the ball from him at some point. Some of it was only for, like 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. But then there was like, Jones, 5 receptions, 140 yards and a touch.
Yeah.
Jennings, 4 receptions, 82 yards and a touch. And then right on down the line, Finley, Cobb, Starks, Nelson, Crabtree, Williams, Grant, Green, Kuhn, and Driver. Right down the line. Just anybody. It was crazy. He's so accurate and so good.
And how looking back last year, like at the run that they made into the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl without Jermichael Finley.
Yeah.
Now, with Jermichael Finley back, it just seems like that team is just near unstoppable.
Yeah, but like he said, he threw 12 different guys. That's what's great about Aaron Rodgers. He spreads the ball around, and they move the chains very efficiently. It's not always a 20-yard pass, 30-yard pass. It'd be 5, 6, 4.
It's too many,
But even if you do, this is how you make it work to where even if you do a 3, 4-yard pass on TV, you're watching going, what the hell? But if you do that over here on this side, then you do it on this side, then you do it with the running back, then you do it over the middle. They don't know where to go. Game plan for.
Now here's another fun fact about Aaron Rodgers for this game. Kind of a knock, but at the same time, this is the first time I think this season that he's had negative yards rushing.
Oh. Wow.
And another thing that's a very fun fact about Green Bay, Grant, he's had 325 carries without a fumble up until the game yesterday.
Wow.
And wow. That is insane.
That's a golf clap.
Absolutely.
Golf clap.
But that's just really good football. That's holding onto the ball like you would expect them to.
You can't ask any more from your running back.
No, absolutely not.
Mr. Mario.
Yes, sir.
Let's not forget the fact that this game last year in the playoffs, we spoke of the Atlanta bye week that torched them.
Right.
It was against Green Bay.
Yeah.
They came back and they got their butts handed to them, and the Green Bay went on to win the Super Bowl. And then so last night was sort of a return.
Right. And Atlanta wanted that game.
A flashback to what happened, and they started out 14-0. Atlanta was up 14-0, and then for the Packers, Chad Clifton got hurt on the O-line, and for some reason that clicked in their heads, and they woke up and they came back.
Yeah.
I mean, Green Bay really. I mean,
they're playing just as well, if not better than the Patriots right now. Just for the sole reason that Tom Brady. He's so good, and he's so good at understanding his game plan and understanding the scheme that his team is going for. He's such a team player, especially talk about spreading the ball around. Even though you'll have Wes Welker with 124 yards, in a game, or 180 something yards, or 200 yards even sometimes. Yeah. But he still manages to spread the ball around. The difference with Aaron Rodgers is he's just so much more energetic. It's so much more. He's so much more fun. He's so much more
Brady's definitely more calculating.
Yeah, exactly, and he's much more of improvisation.
When you watch Rodgers, he's a leader out there, but he sort of goes about it a little bit quietly.
Yeah,
Cam Newton is an electrifying guy, even not during a play.
But there's definitely some
You know what I mean?
cockiness to Aaron Rodgers that I like.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
But
just
that
because
man's earned it.
He's got that quiet swagger about
right,
it.
exactly.
You know, he's not all outgoing about it. He's not all boisterous about it.
Yeah.
He's very professional about it, actually.
You know, and one thing I wanted to touch, like now that we're talking about this, despite the fact that they lost, you know, and Julio Jones went out with a hamstring injury late in the game yesterday. But I mean, like, it was gonna be. I was gonna save it for my holy shit moment, but it's gonna be a surprise to you guys even. But I mean, how about these rookie wide receivers, especially, you know, like Cincinnati, you know, and the 2 first rounders, you know, AJ Green and Julio Jones are definitely showing that they are NFL worthy. You know, they're worthy to wear that badge on their.
On that same note, you have to mention Dalton in Cincinnati.
Right. Well, exactly. I mean,
let's get into that game. What do we have on that game? That was a fantastic football game. Cincinnati is. I'm going to say now. It looks like their record has them a little bit behind, but if they keep going the way they are, they could definitely be a wild card.
I mean, yeah. Especially, I mean, Dalton had 179 yards, which will, you know, like we said, doesn't really show like what he did in the game.
Right.
You know, you have 179 yards, you kind of just like, well, whatever. 179 yards, like you can crap bigger than that. But I mean, it's 179 yards that he led his team to, that he fought. He didn't need to be the guy out there throwing, you know, 45 for 40, you know, for 56 or whatever. You know what I mean? He's can actually go out there, spread the ball around. You understand, as for a rookie to understand the game plan and to play in that division, which is usually Ravens, Steelers dominant, always, you know, they're holding their own.
I think the best thing I see about Dalton is, besides the fire that I see in him, he is a redhead, by the way, so he's got that fire anyway.
Indeed.
But as a rookie, he doesn't seem like intimidated by the NFL. He seems like, hey, this is a challenge I can take.
Yep.
And he goes out there. The way he plays the game, he has fun, and he's very into it. I mean, the kid's impressing me. 179 yards passing, but they scored 30 points and then won the game. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like a topic we've touched on a few times. You know, like Cam Newton. He's been throwing these high number, crazy ass, unbelievable numbers for a rookie.
Right.
Not winning the games. He can get out there, throw less than 200, and win the game.
Right.
And guess which one matters more?
Exactly. You know, and on the flip side to that, you have another rookie quarterback with Blaine Gabbert, who threw 221, 1 touchdown, and, you know, no interceptions, which is a very good day, but he just didn't get that done.
Did you guys see that Gabbert had a Romo moment? We'll call it a Roman.
Roman.
Never mind. A Romo moment. The ball was snapped and he wasn't ready for it, and he went sort of slight left, and he was like, whoa, and it went flying behind him, and he went trying to get after it, and he got swarmed and lost the ball, and it was a crucial play in the game. I think Gabbert's going to be okay there in Jacksonville, though.
Yeah,
maybe not this year.
It'll take a year or two to work into it, but I think that they're definitely going to be something to be reckoned with for the next couple of years.
All right, folks, that's the end of the first quarter here on Pigskin Holiday. We're going to come back in the second quarter and discuss more scores from yesterday. Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, Colts, and Raiders, Texans. Al Davis, rest in peace, my brother. Second quarter's up next on Pigskin Holiday. You okay?
Covering up the Patriots on the jersey.
Come on, man!
I can't take.